Firing the 7.62 millimeter, 147 grain full metal jacket round, the M1A is a derivative of the original M14. It only served the U.S. military from 1958 to 1969, but it built itself a huge record during that time as America's last true battle rifle. So stick around. Woof! It's time to watch the big dog eat. Thanks for joining us again on Shoot of the Series. My name is Ed Thorell from Firearms Education and Training, and we're back here today at the Mystery Range, and we're really loving the vibe out here. It's very quiet, it's very peaceful, it's a very positive place, and it's very easy to relax and have a good time out here. So we're really digging the vibe, and we hope you pick up on that too. Anyway, today we've got the M1A. It's built by Springfield Armory, a name everybody knows and loves. They've been around forever. And the M1A is basically a civilian version of the military M14. And when Springfield started turning these out to the public, they were originally using some of the surplus parts until, mid-80s, when they started just making their own receivers and, going into production as a truly civilian rifle. It fires the 7.62 millimeter, what some of you also might know as the .308 Winchester, which we have right here in front of us. This would be considered a battle rifle because what it's using is a full-size rifle round compared to the 5.56, which is an intermediate round, which replaced this with the M16. So you'll see we have a magazine of 10. That's a standard mag. You'll also notice that there is, at the front of the magazine, this small little hole. And that hole is kind of punched square, and it's going to mount up and also sync up with a dowel that's also inside the magazine well. So in order to get this going, you're going to have to put this in on an angle, and you'll kind of feel for it. And when it's in place, it locks into place. And if it doesn't lock into place, it's not going to work. So your magazine release is right down here. Your safety is right back here. If it's in the back position, the safety is on. If it's in the forward position, the safety is off. You also have your charging handle. Pull it all the way to the rear, let it slam forward, never ease it. Let the strength of the slide or the strength of the spring do all the work for you. Now, this particular M1A is set up with furniture that also came from Springfield Armory in the Realtree pattern. It's fiberglass, it's 3 pounds lighter than the original walnut. It also has much slimmer contours, so it feels much sportier. The walnut, it feels like you're hanging onto a 4x4, whereas this one has got much better contours that makes it a much more shootable rifle. The particular scope mount is also from Springfield Armory. There are lots of different grades of scope mount that you can get out there. This is not the best grade, but I liked it because I wanted to be able to have all matching parts from Springfield Armory. I can't say enough good things about it. One of the nice things about this particular scope mount, and you can see it from right here, is that this is what's known as a see-through scope mount, which means you can still utilize your iron sights by looking through a groove underneath the scope mount. So if your scope fails, you still have an opportunity to use your iron sights. It makes it sit a little bit higher, but I personally think that that is a really good feature to have. I'm not a big fan of just relying on optics. Your irons are there if you need them, and I like having them that close. On top of it, we've got a fairly basic 3x9 Bushnell, and this is covered up with a cloth wrap. just to give it a little bit more color, make it a little bit more durable, also make it a little less shiny. We've also got a raised cheek pad in the back. And very often, whenever you're going to be putting a scope that's going to mount higher, you're going to have to bring your cheek rest up as well. So because this is going to sit an inch higher than normal above the sights, you have the cheek rest that brings up about the same. And this is a nice foam padding. You can get a good cheek weld. These are available all over the place, including Amazon, where I think I got mine. Aside from that, it's a pretty basic rifle. We've also gone through and replaced the metal butt plate with a rubberized butt plate. The metal butt plate, not real comfortable. The M1A is a soft shooter anyway. This just makes it a softer shooter. So this rifle will definitely reach out there in the hands of somebody that's trained to use it. I feel pretty good, out to a few hundred yards with it, but there's definitely people with better training that'll make it reach out further than me. And maybe someday we'll get somebody up here with the proper credentials that can really squeeze the performance out of this rifle. But anyway, before we get started on this, we need to take a special moment, because during an earlier view, we had a casualty. We lost a very important member of the team. Everybody, his given name was Rocks, but we all called him Buddy. And Buddy took a fatal hit during earlier filming with the Mini 14 that he didn't survive. And, we can't really do, a Viking funeral pyre type of send-off here, but we do have our own type of send-off that we want to give him. So, Buddy gave his life to, help promote firearm safety and to, be a good role model for all of those people out there watching. And what I'd like to do for a moment is just take a moment of silence. And I want you to pay homage to Buddy and everything that he stood for. And after that moment of silence, we're going to take a moment of loudness. Y'all stick around. We're doing this for Buddy. On behalf of Shoot of the Series, we want to thank you all for watching and tuning in. If you really like what we're doing, come find us on Patreon and consider partnering up with us. Thanks for coming back. We're going to give Buddy the send-off he always wanted. Thanks, Buddy. We'll miss you, Buddy. Now we're going to go send our final respects, and then stay tuned for Shooter Shoutout. We want to thank Buddy for his sacrifice, for his commitment. And we know that Buddy would have wanted to go out this way. But on to happier news. Our first shout out for the week goes to Jay Garcia. He really enjoyed our video. Full-size, compact, and subcompact handguns. What's the difference? He says, excellent training video. Being a first-time gun buyer, I now know the basic differences between the three groups. Well, thanks, Jay Garcia. We appreciate the comment and helping to educate and make your buying decisions a little bit easier. That's what we're all about here. We also want to thank Mr. Braxton. Mr. Braxton really enjoyed the Rock Island Armory 1911 Officer's Model Shooter. His quote, why do I like the 45? Because nobody makes a 46 equals automatic like. All right, Mr. Braxton, thank you very much. I sure enjoy shooting the Rock Island Armory too. So we want to thank you all for sending in your comments. Please keep doing that. And if you send us a nice one, you might actually be highlighted on our show. Once again, we want to thank everybody that's helped make the video special. My producer, Steve, the guy behind the camera that doesn't get nearly enough credit for all the hard work that he does. And making me look cool, that's a full-time job. Anyway, you can check us out on Shooter the Series. My name's Ed Thorell from Firearms Education and Training. Be sure that you like, share, and more importantly, subscribe and become part of the show. Thank y'all. Y'all take care.